Welcome to part 12. This is definitely not the second time we've done this intro because it was stuttering before. We have a hard limit to how long I can record because I'm taking my lunch break and my normal break to do this. Carlos, you remember breaks, right?
Oh wow, we're repeating this joke. It was such a good one.
It was not good enough to repeat. Okay, also, we just flew down from there. That's all that happened in the failed recording.
Allegedly.
Yeah, I guess you'll never know. Carlos, I asked you what you were doing. You said you were cleaning and applying to jobs. And I said, then how come when I texted you 5 minutes before and said, are we still good for 3:30? You said, yeah, let me just stop playing Fusion for a second.
All right.
Care to answer in front of God and all the viewers?
I was doing all those things.
Ooh, a major
as
test. Ready for some failure?
Fusion slaps, but I do also have a big gaming personal news for me. I think you're going to be a little ashamed of this.
Probably.
Probably ashamed of it.
I'm ashamed by a lot of things you do.
I have finally beaten Jack 2.
What do you mean you finally beat Jack 2?
So every time I played the game, I would get to the final boss fight, and then for just some reason, like, I only... Because of that, the way that boss fight is literally so fucking
Oh,
bad.
I think I know what you're going to say. Did you run out of ammo?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I only have the yellow.
So it's a huge failing on that boss fight. If
Yeah.
you have to try that boss fight too many times, you straight up like you can straight up run out of ammo because Jack 2 is such a well-designed game that every time you die, it doesn't reset to what your ammo was before you died. It just like continues from where you died from. So there's a genuine strategy where you almost shouldn't go all out if you think you're going to lose because you're going to waste ammo.
Yeah,
and I think
to the point where,
so. I think there are enemies that spawn like more ammo in that, but they only spawn the rifle. So you don't get any like the super cool weapons like the Peacemaker or any of like the upgraded stuff. So it's very badly designed, very badly. So I'm not ashamed of you for a rare time because I can tell you that boss fight's bullshit.
For a little context, I stopped playing the game for some reason like last year. Like right when you're about to fight crew, I just like, you know what? I'm gonna go live my life and be free.
Jack, I need you to go and pick up something for me, eh?
Yeah, so I had watched the video essay and I was like, you know what? Let me just finish this game.
So I should clarify, it's just not a good game. Like,
I think
beyond that, it's just a really bad game. Like, it was in a time where a lot of gaming standards hadn't been established yet.
Sure.
So things like checkpoints, oh man, what are those? Like, we don't have those. It's really bad. The one that
really
sticks out, the one that sticks out in particular is the SIG mission where he has to hunt the 5 metalheads, because that mission is so long and it's an escort mission.
And it's early, so you don't
early.
have the yellow rifle. You only have the shotgun. But
I don't know what to do here.
I was playing it, and so I remember, like, in the last couple times I've played it, I kept getting stuck at the boss fight because I'd run out of the machine gun ammo and the Peacemaker, and I was just, like, trying to do this thing with just the yellow one is useless because it gives you for those who haven't played, it gives you a bunch of small enemies to take out.
I didn't know
to hit that.
I didn't know the timing on it because it was like it's not the eye flashing. It's like you have to watch him, and like I got it the first time, but my like physical timing wasn't as good. But the second time, I was like, no, I got this now. That was awesome. That was fucking rad. You get some upgraded spears? Hell yeah, dude. Sorry, continue.
So yeah, like it's set up that if you have ammo for all 4 guns, the final boss fight's actually a fucking breeze, right?
Yeah, it's actually super easy. But but on top of having to do that, oh hell yeah, this is totally worth it. Climb speed up is awesome. Yeah, so but
every time you die, that ammo is not replenished.
It's not even that. It's also, I just explained this, Carlos. Like,
no. But
also, it's like the fact that I think you forget is that you have to fight a gauntlet on the way to that boss. So like your ammo is already depleted from when you started the mission.
So, oh yeah, actually, for that run, because I gotten stuck on the final boss so much. I pretty much was like acing that entire thing with just the yellow gun, and so with the mindset of cool. As soon as I get there, maybe the game will understand that since I have ammo on these other guns, it'll start populating. As well as
No.
I'm playing the PS4 version. Maybe someone patched it to be like, oh yeah, we can fix that. No,
Can I tell you something about the PS4 versions of those games?
they're
So
kind
they didn't change anything. They kept it exactly the same, except they removed developer mode because you could pop developer mode and then you could pop some of the trophies, or you could like basically like make Jack like move agnostically, if that makes sense. Like you could just like move through, like float essentially.
yeah.
But they removed that, and I'm like, why? Who cares? It's an old game. What is the point of this? That's so mean for no reason.
As well as if you were in there for that, you really weren't gonna try to do like play it normally.
Well,
Like you were already trying some different shit.
So speaking of this, I happened to get developer mode. I did the develop. So the trophies for those games are very difficult considering, because for like Ratchet and Clank or even like Sly, you kind of know what you're getting with the trophies. It's basically just 100% the game. 100%ing Jack 2 and 3 is a little more difficult because they have the stupid eggs, which there's like, I think there's...
Oh yeah.
I want to say there's like 200 and something in Jack... I think 230 or something in Jack 2, and there's 600 in Jack 3. And it's nonsense. But there's...
As well as you can only get some of them a one time through.
Exactly. But, so there's some exploits that you can use. Like, there's in both games, there's a... Oh, I didn't get those fish. I should have blown them up first. In both of those games, there's a... Whoa. Lag is seriously strong here. Hold on. Whoa.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if that was my recording or if that was the actual game.
No, I think that was the game.
But yeah, there's some exploits where basically there's challenges where it's like, get to the egg in the time allotted, and the reward is yours. But what you can do, I think in Jack 2, if you jump above the egg that you're supposed to get and then hit restart on the mission, you'll fall into the egg, collect it, add it to your inventory, but then you'll still restart the mission because you can't replay them once you get them. So the idea is that you just do that on like one that's easy to jump above. I think like a lot, basically to make up for whatever eggs you didn't catch.
Okay.
So there's that, and then the one in Jack 3 is you get right up next to one of those eggs, and then you hold down the Dark Jack button, and you restart the mission. And then when it restarts it, Jack will like Hulk out, and he'll go into Dark Jack mode. I think the reason is that in Jack 2, when you tap the button, it happens instantly, but when in Jack 3 you can hold it.
Okay.
So when you hold it, by restarting the mission, you like Hulk out, and Jack like freaks out and turns into Dark Jack. But when doing that, he collides with the I'm sorry, I was dropped in this mission. I wasn't ready yet. He collides with the egg and collects it, and same thing. They removed that as well, so no fun allowed.
Did you lose all your food?
Did I what?
Did you lose all your food as well?
Yeah, you lose everything.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know.
So for those who don't know, because we kind of walked right into it while we were talking,
The Die Hard Island?
This is a special mission that I honestly think is super fucking cool. You start on this basically like this lone island, like just over here, and you lose access to all of your equipment, every single bit of it, and you have to like basically scrounge stuff to like get to the shrine and complete the puzzle on this island. And it's a lot of fun. It's very inspired, if not a little bit scary. You do get to keep your abilities, like your slate abilities. So like you can still use bombs in a pinch, and you can still use magnesis to find some stuff, and the frost thing to get some puzzles. But it's a lot. It's hard. So
It's also, I love that by the time you've gotten to this point in the game, you're probably pretty strong or extremely familiar. So the game is
Carlos, some of us are strong by part 4.
well, like you're
I know what you
different
mean,
though,
yeah.
and like
Wow, a rare admission. Carlos just saying I'm built different, which is true.
wow. But I mean, for a first-time player, like when you finally got into this island, you've probably gotten really comfortable in your idea of how to play the game. And this island, I think, does such a great job of like, yeah, we can take this shit away at any point. Shit is not sweet out here.
This island was so popular that they basically that worked in my favor. They basically just there's still one left. I'm sorry, dude. Your friends got struck by lightning. This mode or this shrine was so popular that they spun off an entire set of DLC for it. Like the Master Sword Trials, which can make your Master Sword even stronger, are all based on this shrine, where you basically like you start the challenge and you get some good stuff, and then you have to go from there. And it got super cool. I'm surprised they didn't.
Oh,
just kidding. just fooling. Sorry. I'll go now.
I think if you just removed it, you would have been fine. But also,
Well, yeah, but you taught me I could do this. Oh, it destroyed that chest. I don't know where that chest went. I kind of want to destroy these. I don't know that you can find any. I don't think you find any equipment in this island. Like you find weapons. I don't think you find armor.
Yeah, no. Then again, I don't really have that good of a memory for this. I remember it being like, oh, cool, this was a challenge, and I'm not even 100% sure if I actually finished it.
I've definitely finished it. Ooh, got some goodies. Just push this. Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting thunder and lightning during this. That does complicate this challenge a little bit.
It doesn't. It doesn't, because now you at least, if you can get them to whip their weapons out, they can.
That's
mostly
true.
get cleared out.
That's actually a good call. I should probably go. Oh, okay. I should probably go while it's thundering. Oh wow, it's supposed to thunder for a while. Do you see the weather in the bottom right? What the fuck? I guess this is my life now.
Castaway.
I've actually never seen Castaway.
Same.
I've seen Flushed
I'm
Away.
not really.
I haven't seen Flushed Away either.
I'm not a big Tom Hanks guy.
Really? He's great.
Yeah. He's Tom Hanks.
Yeah, great.
He's Tom Hanks.
This
He's
is
just
wild.
okay.
This is a wild. Like, who doesn't like Tom Hanks?
It's not that I don't like Tom Hanks. I don't find Tom Hanks particularly that interesting.
And you can be wrong for that. That's fine. All right, I want to see if I can get it.
He's just like, I don't know, because like in my mind, I'm like he was in good movies. It's just I'm always like, whatever. It's kind of like Tom Cruise, where I'm like, I understand, big deal, but I haven't engaged enough with their filmography to really care about it. So when I see them, I'm just like, all right. The ones I have seen, I didn't really love like that.
Yeah, but Tom Cruise is kind of problematic in real life, whereas Tom Hanks is not.
You gotta wait until you. True.
Allegedly.
Yeah, his son is a weirdo, so I don't know how much that it's him or that's just the son being a weirdo, you know?
God. The weather preview is lying to me. God damn it. I thought I could get him. I need a better weapon before I take him on, but I do need to take him on. Because he has one of the puzzle things around his neck. You guys are not useful. What if a blood moon happened during this fucking trial? That'd be not fun.
Oh, shit, what happened to my water? Sorry.
No, you're good.
What happened last time we spoke, we recorded?
Does that help?
Yeah, that's great. I think
Just crack the case.
I'm finally gonna finish Book of Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, you got to the part where it gets less bad. You got to Mandalorian season 2.5.
It makes no. It literally. I'm watching this shit. I'm like, why is this in the show? We didn't need this in the show.
I haven't seen it. I've only seen season 1 of The Mandalorian, and that's really the only of the Star. And I saw Obi-Wan. That's the only Star Wars content I saw.
Okay, because like,
ooh, that's a good get.
When I tell you, Nick, that all of a sudden it becomes a Mandalorian show, I literally mean like 3 episodes straight Boba Fett. You don't even you forget that Mandalorian character exists. and then all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, this is just that.
I do.
We are not seeing Boba Fett at all.
I do think it's really, really fucking funny that for decades Boba Fett was like, oh, he's so cool, based purely on his armor design. And then they made a different Boba Fett. And yeah, they made a different Boba Fett, and now nobody fucking remembers Boba Fett. It's all Mandalorian. It's like in a moment, his legacy was gone.
The coolest parts about Boba Fett are the parts that like they have no interest in telling, really, which is like, show me Boba. Like, granted, Clone Wars at least does a little bit of it, of like, show me Boba Fett.
All right, there we go.
Interacting with other clones, and like, how does he feel that he's just a clone that ages regularly?
Weirdly, I did read a book about that.
Yeah,
I read one of those like thousands of Star Wars novels about Boba Fett, and it was like, it was like well past the events of like Episode 6, and it was like about like the clones and stuff like that, and it was interesting. But they don't seem interested in doing any of that anymore.
There's cool things about Boba Fett, as well as like, once you made the Mandalorian, we didn't need Boba Fett. That's what I mean. That in.
It's wild that like he just up and replaced such a staple.
Allegedly.
What do you mean?
I mean, he's not really a staple. He's just a guy in the background that people thought looked cool. Which I'm like, I can't hate on that. I've watched a bunch of anime in my life where I'm like, what's that guy's MO?
That's like the like main driving point of anime. It's like,
yeah.
Okay, cool, but who's that guy? He's cool.
So I'm like, the thing is though, I'm like, you then introduce a much cooler character, and also I'm like, I really don't really care about this guy unless
I really feel like you're not listening to me, because you just keep repeating points I've already made.
No. Oh, my bad. I was just mostly saying like, it's cool that they keep bringing the guy back, like, who did Jango Fett as well.
But he shouldn't be the focus, I think, is the main point.
Yeah.
We got a guy for that now.
We should put Chris Evans in the Star Wars universe.
He will be. Don't speak too loudly. He will be. I mean, I don't think Chris Evans is a bad actor. I think he's just done one role for a while now.
No, he's actually, from like his interviews, he wanted Captain America to be his last role because he wanted to stop acting in general.
Yeah.
Which
also,
is like,
I heard on a similar nature, I heard that Don Cheadle and Anthony Mackie are running into some frictions with some execs because Anthony Mackie was talking about the script process, which is like, they fly you out to like a secret location, and then some intern has to like be there while you like read the script, and you've got like 2 hours to read through the entire thing. And you can tell like the intern fucking hates him because he's just like making him sit there, and he's like, can you read a little faster? It's like, I'm dyslexic. No, like it's just, and so that's his thing. And then I heard a thing about Don Cheadle today, which is, I guess they like asked him to sign like a 6-movie deal while he was at his child's laser tag birthday party, and they were like, you've got 2 hours. He's like, I can't really focus on that right now. Like, so I don't know. It feels like they're pushing like way too hard on some stuff.
The whole anti-spoiler thing, I'm like,
that's what I mean too. It's like it's all the Guardian spoilers for comic storylines that have been out for like 40 years. So like, what's the point? Like,
as well as like, we're kind of getting diminishing returns here, and
so I did see a good point about it, which is that the whole thing with spoilers like being so like ravenous is that it makes people try and see the movies early because they don't want to be spoiled. Like, this spoilers are very much like a part of it because they want people to see it early because that guarantees, like, you know, people buying tickets for opening weekend, which is how they equate which is how they equate sales. Which, as someone who works in the video game industry, and how that's very similar to pre-orders, I don't really want to talk too much about it, but I can see it. Yep, I believe it.
I get it for their bottom line, but I'm also just like, I also think legitimately it's getting to the point where
you don't want to burn your fucking actors, dude. Like, that's the biggest thing. I'm not saying like coddle them, but like, come on, what are we doing?
I mean, the actors are also having a really hard time with, like, as they say, they don't know what's being put on those green screens anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing that I really have never liked. It's the same because that's a big thing with the gaming industry, is that they'll give people lines to read and then give them no context, nobody to bounce off of. They're just reading lines in a room, and I'm like, why is everyone doing this? What happens if you what?
Put that in the water. Will it roll out into the sea and be lost forever?
It'll roll.
Where does it respawn?
I think it respawns where I just found it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, put the ice under that.
I need to get it into a place where I can throw it, though, so I need to get a little closer. That should be good enough, I think.
Yeah.
This is a weird one. Plus, it's circular, so I have to get it, like, right up in the middle. Or it'll start rolling. Okay, phew.
Oh, yeah. They're working next door, and it fucking sucks because it just feels like they're coming through the wall.
Not in like a bad way. Don't worry about it. Like just like I slightly notice it because I hear you so often.
Yeah, it's just like it. I'm always just like, oh crap! This is the time the hammer's coming through that wall.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to start arguing with the people next door of like, you owe me my security deposit at least.
Sometimes my neighbors are very loud, and through various things, today they were loud because I think one of them was arguing on the phone. But like I can hear them so clearly that I'm like, is there anything in these walls? Like, if I trip, am I gonna burst into their apartment like the fucking Kool-Aid Man? Like, how can they be this thin? Like,
I think about that all the time.
I used to have my first wall mates, I guess we'll call them, had their bed up against that wall, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, and they had a somewhat active life, and sometimes I was like, they're gonna burst through the fucking wall, like, and I'm gonna be like, this is awkward for all involved, but it is your fault.
It's like, why? I'm like, if I hear anything on the other side where my head is at, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, no. Put your beds away from other people, y'all.
That's all I'm saying.
Basic human decency.
I don't ask for much in this world.
I'll be the judge of that.
Really? Okay. What do I ask for in this world?
I don't know. We'll keep a list now. Sound off in the comments if you
starting
want
now. Oh god, how am I beating this thing? Where are the arrows? Yep, arrows it is. Oh fuck! He came to play! I guess I should eat some of the food I've gotten. I hate that I can't make meals out of it. Because there's no, oh! Okay.
Oh yeah, that's what the thing was. I told myself I would come back when I had more hearts because of like, since you can't cook, you kind of just gotta like, shimmy around.
I think you probably can cook. I think there's a pot right there.
Yeah, there's over there.
I don't have any way to light it. I gotta make sure that stays lit.
Hey, yo.
Gotta make sure it stays lit, fam. Let's go. Hey, guys. Listen. We can talk about this as gentlemen. Alright, we're gonna do some razzle-dazzle here. Ready? Huh. Nope. Huh. 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 There we go.
Oh, to go back to a really old conversation we had, I now understand the benefits of having 2 televisions in the house.
Why is that? What happens?
So, the love of my life wants to marathon a show. And I'm like, we've already seen the show because the new season's coming out. So she was like, oh, let's just like, which was first supposed to be my rewatch. I had pitched the idea of like, oh, I'm going to rewatch the show. If you want to join, let me know. And she's like, oh, no, I've already done the rewatch. So like, you can just watch it yourself. So my thing was like, cool, I'll just watch it during work and I'll get through it in like 3 days.
Also, this is what I was talking about, where you can just light this pot here. Okay.
And so, but she was less like, she decides, oh no, actually wait for me, I'll watch it with you. And I'm like, okay.
You were describing married problems that I've heard through so many sitcoms, through so much stand-up, just
True.
This is an age-old problem.
I want to play Elden Ring. I've been like, oh,
have you started
when
it?
I get to... Not yet.
You have talked about starting Elden Ring for a month now, Carlos. Like,
Yeah, so no, my thing is I don't want to start during the daytime because I'm like I should honestly be applying to jobs and being an adult
Sure.
and not being a fuck up. And so I'm like I'll do it at night. But then the thing is she starts this marathon and is like let's watch 3 episodes a night and I'm like what the fuck? These are hour-long episodes. By the time this is done, it is midnight. I'm not going to start a game at midnight. I'm unemployed, but I'm not that unemployed. I have some decency.
You are then unemployed. You're wasting your own time.
Nah, I think I'm going to. And now she's also doing a movie night on Friday. So I'm like, great. Now I got to make myself scarce.
Wait, with her friends?
Yeah. She was like, you can come. And I was like, I just don't want to.
I love this.
So Saturday morning, it begins.
It begins. That's funny. Not funny that bad things are happening to you. Genuinely, as difficult as it may sound to you, I don't enjoy you going through strife.
I mean, it could be much worse. It's literally, at least it's a show that I enjoy, so it's not like.
What show is it?
Oh, it's owned by Warner Brothers.
Just tell me what show it is. I don't care.
Oh, Succession.
Okay.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We can just leave it at that. You didn't say anything about the show, so we'll leave it at that. That is the thing that's for those who don't know, I do work for Warner Brothers. And they have very strict guidelines on what I can and can't say. And those guidelines are, we want you to tell people that you work for Warner Brothers. I'm like, okay, got it. And they're like, but don't you ever mention a Warner Brothers IP. I'm like, what? but, okay, I guess. All right, sure. And here we are.
and there's no real soccer this weekend, so I was like, cool. I'm just like, I'm in this bitch. And also... Again, I love this woman with all my heart.
Oh boy.
She's now trying to get me to go to her little cousin's birthday party, and I'm desperately. He like 7, 8, and I'm desperately trying to figure out a way of getting out of this thing. She's like, nah, but it'd be so great if you came. I'm like, it would be really great for him.
That's so fucked up, but so true. Oh my God, Miffa saved me. Okay. Whoops.
He's a good kid. But no offense, I don't want to go and hang out with a bunch of kids on a Sunday.
What kind of head does he have on his shoulders?
The kid's got ADD, so you got mad energy. A lot of energy.
But all right, I got my answer, I guess.
Yeah, he's everywhere, which is hilarious. But it's also just like, this is after 2 hours of dealing with like a 8-year-old. Those motherfuckers are like robots. They do not get tired. They do not understand the word of tired and let's sit down and relax. He be bothering the dog. He be exhausting the dog to the point where the dog is walking away to like, I'm gonna go catch a nap real quick, and he's like, nah, we are still playing dog.
Exhausting a dog is impressive. I hit his fucking toe. Alright, good. This will be easy. Now, you can get around this. You don't actually have to fight him. If you shoot the thing off his neck, you can still progress, but Mama didn't raise no bitch. Mama didn't raise me at all. So I'm allowed to make these jokes. Oh, wait.
Oh yeah, you...
I
I
gotta hit him in the eye with it. Oh, he gets on fire when I do that. Interesting. Don't. I like how the screen shakes as he comes up. Missed that one.
Yeah.
It's alright. We're gonna have to do an actual fight no matter what. No matter what. Alright.
My skin on fire.
How am I doing this? I don't like that it went dark as I said that. Could the sun come back out? It would make me feel better.
I hope if you got really lucky, like if it started thundering.
Yeah, I can't really summon thunder. I think I gotta eat some attack food. Alright, let's eat some oh, I think you can only have one buff at a time, right? Let's eat this. Okay.
Alright. Fuck him up.
I don't have any arrows to hit him in the eye, so... Oh, wait. Okay, that kind of works. Better than I thought it would work, actually. Okay, alright. Okay. 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 Okay.
At least you're stopping them.
I don't know how long I could do this for. Oh, slightly missed.
Granted, the one thing in hindsight that you really could have fucked him up with is if you had got him to walk over to the fucking explodey things.
And then done it all at once. Maybe. Thought about that. Walk into the fire. Walk into the fire. Damn it.
Oh, he's smart.
Oh, there's a Boko club there. I did actually knock something off him. Oh. I knocked his weapons off, but not the fucking keychain, because of course not. Okay, wait. Base. Can you imagine the frustration he must be feeling right now?
He's just like, this little fucker
Just
ruined
sit
my nap.
still! Okay,
Huzzah. But I don't think you have
Alright.
any arrows.
I got a plan.
You're gonna light that shit on fire?
I'm gonna try.
Oh, you got him.
Okay, I missed.
You are.
Yeah, I know.
The Korean. Again, it still blows my mind that you do not lock on 10.
So I've been thinking about that a lot since you brought it up in the very first video. And I kind of realized that the reason I don't lock on is that I prefer the freedom of movement that you don't get when you lock on. Or like, when you lock on, you automatically start strafing, which is fine most of the time. Like, I don't mind locking on. Like, there's definitely a time and a place for it. But I also kind of realized that, like, there's a lot of times where I'd rather just, like, run around. Because I was doing this in Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, yeah, I don't really like focusing on one enemy. I like just, like, attacking all of them at the same time. Oh, no. Don't do it. Handle that like a champ. Hold on, getting a work email. I'm gonna check this.
I did get Indeed notification of like, hey, this job is kind of looks like your resume would be great. So now I apply to it. But the part that really sucks is when you get that and it's for some shit that like, no, you are underqualified. Like it was like, oh, you could be the director of like New York City homelessness, and I'm like, what?
I don't think I should start laughing when you said director. That feels mean, but.
No, I know I'm not like qualified anywhere enough to be a director of anything yet. As well as I would be like constantly looking at the person below me, like, hey, can you tell me like what do we do?
I think your biggest, you talked about this, your biggest problem in the last job was no training, so that would be your like fucking nightmare.
Yeah, like,
I don't know what to do. Oh my god, that's not what to do. Usually just fucking headshot these guys. I don't know if there's another orb I have to do somewhere, or if 2 is all I needed. I also now have to climb, which, you know. I wonder if it's possible to fail this because you don't have enough stamina. Probably not, right?
Probably not. That'd be a really fucked up way.
This is my favorite try, though. Hands down. I just love you will never take back the feeling of this happening to you the first time out of nowhere. Like, by showing it, I've ruined it for people to an extent, where if they've never played the game, they may...
Remind me... Sorry, just remind me to tell you something horrible I did off air. Can't put it on air.
Will do. I'm gonna say we're off air, but keep recording. Is that cool?
Oh, great. Nah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Granddad.
That's a joke you can pull once.
Yeah. That's the joke you can pull when I get a job, so that way the next video is, so I got fired.
Oh, that'd be really good content, actually. I don't know where the orb is up here. Also, do I have to fight all these guys?
Also, ever since you told me about that goddamn dude yesterday,
what dude?
Who watched his girlfriend get banged in front of him?
God. Do we want to talk about this at all?
He came across my... I don't want to name drop him just in case, God forbid, like one of his stands like has an AI thing. And that, like, then we have to, like, I don't want you having to deal with his people.
Thank you.
But
But we came across something.
Yeah. Okay. So there's
Yeah,
one
please,
of those.
you explain it. I'm a little busy.
There's an incel like podcast
That Carlos listens to.
I,
Just kidding.
the only like I saw him come up on my like TikTok of like someone dunking on him, but I was like, I don't want to engage in your content in the slightest, so I immediately just blocked his account.
Smart.
But that doesn't clear everything because people will still like if it's not his official account, it's like one of his feeder people who are just doing like clips and shit, and people choosing to dunk on that shit. But what I learned, like the one common diss on this guy is he watched his girlfriend get banged in front of him, and that's how he became an incel.
It changed him.
As well as he like the 3 things I know about him is now that I've learned because ever since you sent me that video, it's like the algorithm was like, nah, dog, we sending that shit right back.
I do
to
apologize
you.
if that happened. I'm sorry. That was not.
Found
my
out
intention.
that he's Muslim.
Interesting.
What the fuck? And then the final thing
Well, hold on.
was
wait,
that
that's not enough. You can't. Like, you need more
Well, no.
justification to bring that up. Then
Okay,
isn't that
it was
weird?
Like, he's Muslim and he's only Muslim because he believes that gives him a right to have multiple wives.
Okay, thank you. We
So-
needed that
so-
context. It
my
wasn't
bad, my
like,
bad.
and by the way,
No,
no, that is not a
Again.
reason to pick on him. Like,
No. I just think it's always weird in my mind of like if you're an incel and you're religious because I'm just like, oh, you are so close to going full fascist. Like that is a very like
the full gambit.
that is you're like 2 steps from going like I'm an evangelical and I'm going like and the Lord said that. And the new thing that I learned today is that he's apparently terrified of vaginas and believes that they're ugly and disgusting. And I'm just like,
keeps. I read one of the comments said something like, "Please stop. He clearly enjoys this kind of engagement. Stop like encouraging it."
it's definitely a king shame.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
definitely,
It's definitely one of those people who like enjoys having his stuff like broadcast.
It like again the weirdest. One time I read a little snippet of like, hey yo, these men's rights activists are weirdos and like pickup artists in and of themselves are weirdos. When I found out that they didn't like sex. And they were just like, yeah, I'm only having sex to tell people that I've had sex.
I'm
And I was
only
just
having
like,
sex to own the fucking like own the people who have sex. And it's like, see, anyone
Yeah.
could do this. It's like, okay, well, first of all, we have a problem here. Like, your
I
logic
was
is
just
slightly
like-
flawed.
And I'm like, the thing is, I'm like, what is the point here at this point? If you don't like it, again,
What are you
Not saying that
dedicating
it-
What are you dedicating your life to? Like,
exactly. I'm like, there are happy asexual people out there in the world.
dude, ace
And
people
they-
rock, but it's just like it's so
Exactly.
fucking weird that like you would dedicate your life to picking up women. And you're like, by the way, I fucking hate sex. It's like, first of all, 2 things. 1, you shouldn't do this if you hate sex. 2, I think you may. Have you tried others? It
Yeah.
may not be the women part that's for you. Like,
No hate, no shade, but I'm just like,
if you're like, I really like picking up people, but I don't like vaginas. They scare me. Hey man,
have you thought about
there-
just making friends?
have you thought about another option? Which thought about getting railed by a penis? Does that help? Oh god.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
but I'm
No,
just
don't,
like,
don't do this to me.
oh, why don't you put the climb thing on?
It doesn't matter.
non-slip.
That's not the part that I'm worried. It's not non-slip. It just increases your speed.
Oh, I thought it was.
What I'm more worried about is that it just started raining as I was climbing, and I'm like, I need this to climb though, because I need to get to the shrine. So I just have to like mash it. There we go. Oh my god, please.
Oh.
Now you see the issue.
Yes. What was it? Oh yeah. So I'm wondering about all these things this guy believes, and I'm just like, it sounds exhausting to make so much of your content about women, and it doesn't seem like you enjoy anything.
This is what it like baffles me. Is I'm like I don't dedicate my time to things that don't interest me.
Yeah.
That's just a personal thing of me. Is that I just don't. It sounds like a waste of time, if I'm being honest. So I just don't do that. I value my time. But like, it just seems so weird. Oh my god. I
Like
hate this. I hate this so much. I can't
The
do
thing-
anything. They hate this
the best-
mechanic.
the best way to relate to other people is to genuinely have interest. Like I have a friend honestly who just hit me up. Doesn't game in the slightest, but he's like staying with his parents for a bit of time. He's like, I dug out my old Xbox 360, and I think games are really cool. You have a PS5. Like, do you like your PS5? Like, just very basic introductory
Sure.
questions of like, hey, I want to get into this. Is it like worth it? And I was just like, yeah, wholeheartedly. But when you have interests, like things that you actually like, people will hit you up to talk about the things you like as well as engage with that. So I just can't imagine like no one ever hits me up like, "Hey Carlos, check out this racism." Ain't this some shit that like you want to discuss
I do
in a
do that to you
positive?
sometimes. Not in a positive way.
No, no, but it's
Sometimes I'm like, did you see this shit? And you're like, I
yeah,
didn't
but
need to
that's
see that. What the fuck?
no, but that's different. More of like I meant more of like shit that I legitimately have no like. If someone hit me up to talk about baseball, I know nothing about baseball. I actively try to know less about the sport of baseball. I'm not about to start a baseball podcast, like, but like to
Yeah.
have your.
I see what you mean.
It's just wild to me. Like, why not talk about all the? But then again, like their whole thing is like the stuff that they're actually interested about is dominating
That wasn't really,
other people.
that wasn't really
And I'm
worth it
like,
for,
yeah, that
for
wasn't
him,
worth
at
it in
least
the
that wasn't
slightest.
really worth it. I thought there'd be equipment here.
Tony, you
I
can
don't
go
wanna
out
look
to
up where the
places.
equipment is. But yeah, no. The big thing is like this dude is dedicated his life. Like I mean, it's a grift at the end of the day. Then
Yeah.
because he's just like preying on, let's face it, teenage boys who are
That's
who are
the
having
worst
trouble
part.
with women, and they're basically just saying, well, what you have to do is psycho. It's just like, and he doesn't even believe it. He's just doing it because it gets some views and money on YouTube, TikTok, etc. The whole gambit. And I find that shit disgusting.
Yeah,
Do you know what? Do you know what
well,
kind of views you get from Wrath of Zalis? Hey, these games are cool, and some liberal propaganda. But
Yeah, it's
just,
check
you
out
know.
these cool Digimon.
But guess what? We believe in that liberal propaganda. We stand by it.
It's just, like I can imagine like the part that really sucks to me is like I can understand 12-year-old boys with no context logging on to be like, oh cool, I'm gonna watch this guy play Fortnite, and then also I'm slowly just gonna be like, yeah, women are whatever, whatever, whatever. Because as a 12-year-old boy, I also had really regressive thoughts on women, and I'm glad that I unlearned and challenged that shit, and I'm continuing on that path of unlearning horrible stuff.
Oh yeah.
But it's just like I find if you're getting those kids so early, it's like we could have really just reset the like unlearned stuff at a higher level instead of being like, we gotta start talking to these kids about 1950s sexism was bad. Stop trying to do that shit.
It's also so hard to get people to unlearn that stuff.
Oh
Like,
yeah, because that shit gets
To
deep
if you
seated.
if you watch this one person, like, try challenging someone to change their views. In the past, it used to be, hey, I think this, and you'd be like, oh, interesting. Well, have you thought about this? And then you present an argument, and they'd be like, oh, huh. And then someone else presents them a same or similar argument. They're like, you know what? Starting to see a pattern here. But instead, thanks to the internet, thanks to social media, thank you, Facebook, Twitter, etc., that discourse has now become, I think, extremist thought. And then someone else says, hey, maybe don't say that. And they go, shill, cuck. They just don't know. They just don't know. They're not part of the secret club like I am. Like, it's developed into like an exclusivity thing. Where it's like, it's them against us. And it's like, you can't,
Yeah.
that's so much harder to change.
Well, I think it's a bit of that as well as I think it's if you don't nip the shit in the bud, like you start talking as soon as you have a child. In my mind, like as soon as you gotta start talking about like this is how you be a good person. It's like by 12
Well, yeah,
years
that's
old,
also, that's the part too, is that they're not raised very
they've
well.
molded to this thing of like this is regular. It's kind of like trying to tell kids like when you kind of realize that South Park had no other shtick, you had to go and watch other things. But as these dudes are streaming different games and your interest continues on that path, it also allows you to get more exposed and ingrain it more into your like this is my identity, this is who I am part of you, and that's the shit that you can't really challenge that stuff just by reading new information. As crazy as that sounds like to some people, it's like if you go full crazy Nazi about some shit, you can't.
Sometimes,
You won't.
not exaggeration. Some genuine Nazi views. Like,
Yeah, like you. If I give you one book about like racism, that is not going to change your entire
Yeah.
mindset. It might start the journey, but like you have to kind of get inundated of the propaganda of the other side to at least get yourself starting to go on like, oh, maybe I am weird for, and also interacting with real people, because real people will be like, no, dog, you are a fucking weirdo for believing that shit.
But that's the thing is like, I don't know if that's even true. Like if they like would be fully challenged like that, or if they just be like, all right, and then not talk to you, like, which is worse because I feel like that's sad in a way.
And that goes back to why we spoke about this last video, that I'm a messy bitch who will ask like.
You ask the follow-up questions that other people won't ask.
Case in point, Juliana.
I hope this isn't a crazy revelation about Juliana. I like Juliana.
No, I sent you that text. Love of my life. She knows that I'm a messy bitch. Sends me this text.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for this.
That her direct supervisor is a 9/11 truther. Doesn't follow it up with the context of what does she mean by that shit. Why the fuck was that relevant in conversation? Mind you, we're in New York, so in my mind, it's like...
Real quick, just so the viewers know what I'm trying to do and not wandering aimlessly. I'm trying to progress, and everywhere I need to go, I need to climb, and this rain will not stop following me. Like, I just need to get the fuck away from it. I'm at the point where I'm about to find a campfire and just wait it out, because I can't keep doing this.
I was watching that, I was like, why is he like...
There's nowhere for me to go. Like,
once you said the rain thing, then I was just like, "Oh yeah."
This is what I mean. Where it's like this is
you can't get there.
This is a god awful mechanic. I hate. This is like the one thing in this game that I'm like, this is bad, and it's the rain mechanic.
Or at least
like the fact that I can't even like. There's not like a food I can make that's like super grip or some shit. Like there's nothing I can do against this other than just fucking wait, which is not a good mechanic.
Not only that, but gives you the opportunity, like, to do maybe like a couple shrines and then upgrade it to that way you can control the weather. Because it does suck of like, we know exactly where you need to go, but there isn't an alternative path that allows you to go around all that shit. You have to climb and then you paraglide down.
I like the climbing mechanic. I like the paragliding mechanic in this game, but it's like one of those things where it's like, I can't do it during certain times. Which, like, what do you want me to do, game? Like. I didn't have an idea though. I realized this is underground. So if I do this,
oh, you don't light that shit on fire and fly?
I am gonna. Oh, no, I'm not gonna fly. If you do that, you can sit at it.
Oh, I thought you were trying to get a fire to like get some breeze going. I'm like, why? Like,
no, I can just pass.
You're soar above the clouds.
Very rarely do I have to use this mechanic of like passing time.
So Juliana sends me that wild 9/11 truth text. I immediately send it to you.
You did immediately send it to me.
Why would she drop this bombshell on me? I have nothing else going on today. What is the context? And then she finally gets home and starts giving some context. She's not a 9/11 truth. Granted, she's taking some crazy shit, but also I was just like, why are you in New York saying this? Someone could have died in that fucking thing. And you're at work. You should not be engaging in that conversation. Apparently, they were talking about other conspiracy theories, and she was just like, oh, Princess Diana was murdered by the royal family.
I thought we were talking about conspiracies, not facts. But no, I'm just kidding. She wasn't royal. She wasn't killed by the royal family. She was killed by paparazzi.
Yeah. Also, like, the Princess Diana love fest, I will never understand. I feel like this is what I sound like when I talk about athletes that I really enjoy watching. But then I'm like, what does
it was slightly before our time, and I do mean slightly.
Yeah.
We missed the thing of it. She was just she was a likable royal. That's the whole claim. But that just shows how fucking like low the bar was. It's not like she like did anything like crazy, but like. She just was a normal ass person who was also
and did charity. So shout out to her and all that. I'm not going to speak ill of her. She don't get to carry all that weight. But they were talking about that conspiracy theory, and then this woman goes, "Oh yeah, I also believe 9/11. They let those people on the plane," and I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" If we're talking like
in New York, she said this.
Yeah,
is she trying to die? Like
that's a wild thing to say. But also I gave Juliana like a full spectrum of like these are all the conspiracy theories of 9/11. Like, what is the range here? Like, oh yeah, we had the information but we refused to act, or was it like inside demolition, or those were drones, or like.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. It's not. There's a lot of different conspiracies about it.
That's not a fun conspiracy theory. That's not a fun one that you can tell apart.
I was gonna say this too. I miss fun conspiracy theories. Like I miss when it was like it was whimsical, and not like light fascism. Like
not like 2 steps until you're like, oh, this is how. Then you start doing anti-Semitic rants.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Where it's
like great. I remember when I first heard about like
when I was
the lizard people.
Yeah, that shit's funny. Like that's a kooky one.
Nah, but like the shit is again that goes the next step in that thing is like, oh, the lizard people are actually Jews, and I'm like, whoa, we were having fun, and then you made it dangerous.
We were talking about a mythical swamp people who control the world somehow, but choose to live underground. So already some flaws.
Yeah,
and they're like, well, actually, it's because they're the. And I'm like, what? No.
Whoa.
Hard left turn.
Yeah, it's just like
do you have a conspiracy or that's something? Do you have something that someone would call a conspiracy that you believe that you'd be willing to say in a video?
Oh, all my boring ones are like, oh yeah, the FBI did murder MLK and he did not cheat on his wife, and then the other ones is like, oh yeah, the FBI and CIA definitely did that shit. That's all. Those are my conspiracy theories.
Those are the things that like 20 years later, one document comes out during like a week where some celebrity does some nonsense, so they kind of bury it, and it's like, oh yeah, that shit did happen.
And like Netflix is a money laundering front, but like shit like that.
I think I have. No, I guess I don't really have any fun ones. I don't really have any at all, I don't think.
I do love telling people that I am a flat earther when I first meet them.
Remember when flat earther was like a big thing? You're gonna say it still is. It's not though. When's the last time someone said they're a flat earther?
Yeah, but it's more fun. It's more funny to me of like, I do remember there was a point in the NBA where a bunch of dudes came out as flat earthers, as well as there are still some wrestlers. The flat earthers now understand though that they can't share that they believe in a flat earth.
Yeah, they have shame again.
Yeah, they were like, oh, it's not safe actually. Like these people don't want to hear that. But yeah, this flat earthers, man. That's just funny as fuck. As well as like the other funny ones, like funny to me of like hearing people actually believe that shit are just like the randomly like specific I'm against that event in history type of people. Like when I found out there are people against the Vatican II, where the Catholic Church was like, oh yeah, every religion is real and we should probably stop doing bad things to that shit. To other religions.
Some people were like, nonsense.
Exactly, and I'm like, whoa, like, and they'll cite that as their disagreement. I'm like, dog, what is wrong with you? What, like, on a fundamental level, like, you have something, there is something wrong here. Like, I'd understand if it was just like, oh, this interpretation of the text will change shit. Like, I understand why some people are like, oh yeah, when you eat the body of Christ, quote unquote, you're not actually eating the body of Christ. But I'm like, that's understandable. The whole like, oh yeah, be nice to other people, that's the part you're like, nah, dog, fuck all that. As well as like, oh wait, do you have a work thing that you're responding to right now?
You noticed I got quiet.
Yes. I was about to... Oh yeah, there were also some people. I'm gonna keep vamping and ranting.
Thank you.
There were these people who were like, there's a bunch of Christians apparently who do not understand that Jesus was a poor man.
No, Carlos, what are you talking about? Just like Jack Donaghy said, Jesus was a capitalist. Obviously. This is what I mean. Where it's like, this is why the 30 Rock rewatch that I just did, and you partially did, was so good, because so much of that parody became true. Like, so much of what like was genuinely said with just seething sarcasm, people now take as fact. And I'm like, how do we get here? Then I found out that the like illiteracy rate in this country is like 20%, and I'm like, oh, now I kind of get it. We're not really appreciating education as much as we used to.
But not only that, but like just straight up no media literacy, no understanding of like
So and then there's the big question: do they not understand, or are they willfully not understanding? Because those are two different things. And there are two different groups of people. There are some people who very much know the truth. I think of the example of that as Tucker Carlson. Where it's like Tucker Carlson is intelligent enough to know what he's saying. He knows what he's doing, and he knows the discourse he's creating. And then there's Ben Shapiro, where I'm like, I don't think he does know. I think he's just like someone who's intelligent but lacks common sense and full on just like bought into the things that he was fed. And
not only that, but
did you see the
antisocial behavior? Oh yeah.
Did you see the interview with him and Tucker Carlson?
Tucker and Ben? Yeah.
When Tucker Carlson, out of fucking nowhere, gives this like incredibly woke response about yeah, we shouldn't automate truck drivers. It's one of the biggest jobs in the country. Like and like goes on and on about like the people and stuff like that. And I'm like bringing up actually good points. I'm like, oh, because he knows where his money is. Like, he knows that if these people are like actually broke, then he's broke too. Like,
not only that, but he's like, oh, if y'all do revolution, I don't want to deal with that. So we need to keep the system in place. And this is how to do it. And Ben Shapiro's just like, nah, but why not just automate everything? He's like, that's how you get revolution, dude. We are not rich because of the revolution.
That's what it's like. One is why don't we just go all in on our beliefs? And the other one is like, we're going to keep it so that the country is in a state of boiling, but never quite boils over. Just constantly stays boiling. Like,
there's a great scene.
All right, game, come on.
And I know you're never gonna watch it. In The Wire, where this character.
I'm gonna watch The Wire eventually. Sorry if I gave you the other impression. I'm genuinely not joking right now. I've always intended to watch The Wire. I've just never like sat down and done it.
This isn't a spoiler. It's just like a funny bit in the show where this one drug dealer is like, I'm smarter than everyone, so we're gonna do things the right way. So he starts to corporatize like how the drug dealing is going when he has all his drug dealers below him. So they start like doing
very well.
Well, honestly, it does go well because he understands how to run like an organization and how to organize and get everyone on point and follow the rules and shit. The issue he lacks, you'd have to watch the show, but like he starts working with the other drug dealers because they understand like he has a great idea as well as a great structure. But part of the shit is they're doing like parliamentary rules, which means like you have to like raise your hand, talk to the chair, you get a certain amount of time.
For a drug dealer, that's so fucking funny. That's a good bit.
But one of the things is like in the rules, because one of the guys just straight up read the rule book and just to help, it says you have to keep notes. And after the meeting is done, the character goes up to talk to the guy and he's like, hey man, what are you writing down? He goes, oh, these are the minutes for the meeting. The rules say I have to keep minutes. And he goes, are you taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy? Like, that's what that was. I'm like, you are blowing this all up. If anyone finds this, it's game over.
That's such a good bit. Maybe I should watch The Wire. Aaron Sorkin guest starred on 30 Rock during one episode.
You should. The Wire is also really fucking. It's really funny, but not like the one thing that kind of sucks in my mind is like The Sopranos is easily memeable, where The Wire isn't. But The Wire is just as funny in terms of like just
funny, but not memeable is not a takeaway. Like it's not a downside in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, it's very realistic jokes of like, oh, this is something that would happen at work where you'd have to remind someone of like, remember where the fuck we are. That's always one of my biggest beefs with like office happy hours and stuff and drinking is like every once in a while someone gets a bit too comfortable and misunderstands the room and thinks like we're actually friends here and not people who are just paid to be here all the time and says something of way too comfortable. I'm like, dog, hilarious, yes, but also HR will get us out of here.
Did I ever tell you that when I worked in the office that we had any day company policy, any day you could crack open a beer after 4 p.m. and just go back to work. Not only that, we had our own kegs.
Honestly, like the crazy thing to me is like where you work is not a functional space that you could do that of like, oh, it will be relatively easy for me to get back home from this spot without driving.
No,
like,
it wasn't.
Like in New York, I get it because I'm just like, oh yeah, I can get home on the subway no matter the mind state, and I've done it.
We live in Massachusetts, and the greater area, it's very much a you have to commute. you have to drive at minimum 20 minutes to get to your place of work. And so like the idea of a work kind of happy hour has some limits because
also the city banned happy hour because there was such a bad drinking culture. So they're like, all right, y'all can't be doing this. We can't trust y'all no more. And work jobs are like, nah, dog, just get drunk at work. What's the worst that could happen?
Oh fuck! Just like that, huh? I guess I gotta warm up. I gotta find better heat and cold resistant clothes. Because I really only have this doublet. I don't have anything for heat other than just taking all my armor off. Cool, we got another tower. I'm going to show you a couple things that we can do. I think we're going to get the second fairy fountain after this. You can fly to it from this tower.
Alright. But yeah, video games are cool, man.
Dude, I love video games. They're great. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of people being like, "Have you seen this?" And have you seen this movie? Have you seen this show? And I'm like, "No." They're like, "What were you doing?" It's like, "Were you reading books?" I'm like, "No." It's like, "I was playing video games." I'm like, "Why?" I'm like, people don't they don't understand. I'm like, "There's so many, and I will never get through them all." And I just keep playing different ones. And sometimes I just replay ones I've already played. Like
the thing, like after I beat Jak 2 yesterday. No other movie had me walking around the apartment like I just did that shit. Bitch, suck my dick to everyone in here.
Oh, like, that's no cute. Movie... Look at the top. I didn't notice the map actually made a skull. That's funny. Yeah, I'm glad you felt accomplished. By the way, are you gonna move on to Jak 3 now?
I've already beaten Jak 3, but I was like thinking it is quicker though. It's only like 12 hours. I'm like, honestly. Playing 3D platformers while stoned is a lot of fun.
In theory, it's 12 hours, but Jak 3 has a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
So this is where the site of Terrytown is, where you build your own town. The fairy is... You can see them from here. I just don't remember where they are. I have to look for that weird-ass fucking flower that they sit in.
I would love to see in a video game studio how they pitch like the side stuff. Like, who's like, yo, let's just make it so that way you have to...
Oh, I think that... Wait, I think that is it.
What,
yeah,
that definitely is.
Didn't get the jump I wanted, but that's fine. Like, what were you saying about the video game thing? Sorry, I was locked in.
Oh, I was just saying... Oh wait. Pitching like side missions. Like, how do they pitch a side mission? Like, who's the guy in the staff meeting who's like, or woman, or gender non-binary, who's like,
hell yeah,
hey yo, how about you? Yeah, we have this cool game about exploring like this world. How about you build a fucking town? And someone's just like, yeah, cook. Let's see what you're cooking. Like, what's the whole idea there?
Do you want to know the answer as someone who knows the answer? Like.
Yeah, I would love to.
It's usually like in the beginning of game dev, they have like a lot of things like, okay, we'd like to do this, 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 and this, and some of that has to get cut for reasons. But then if they find time to work it back in, because like maybe someone is able to build it that isn't working on something while someone else is working on something that's like required, so they can do that, and they decide to just kind of go all in with it. I think that's part of the reason why the gummy ship is so like developed in some games in Kingdom Hearts is because they're like, we know we want this, we don't have this much time to dedicate to it, and sometimes they're just like, oh well, then I'll just take care of it, and they do. But yeah, I think that's how like a lot of the stuff gets done. Like, I'm sure that there were some like broad goals of like, we want to do this, 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 and this with this game, but I don't know that they were like, we need to make sure you can build a town. But that would not at all surprise me if like in the beginning there was like a plan to actually build a town that they had to scrap, but then like they found a way to include it. Because sometimes it's a case of like, you're in a room of devs and they're like, we should do this, and then they're all like, yeah, we should, that sounds like a great idea, and then like over 6 months later when they're coming across like more time and stuff like that, they're like, okay, we can't really do that. But
Anthem,
we can't like focus on that. Anthem is a whole different beast. I know a little bit about Anthem. I know that it was restarted. I think it was restarted twice.
Yeah. As well as the whole Andromeda thing. But something that was really interesting about that YouTube video essay I watched about Jack was they were the person who wrote it did a really good job of also looking up the founder of Naughty Dog, his DICE speeches, talking about like at the beginning of it was like, oh, here's how to like help you make an iconic character design when they were talking. He was talking about Crash Bandicoot, and then like when he's about to pitch Jack 2, he's talking about like, well, the 7-year-old kids now want GTA, but we know that we can't sell them GTA. So we have to try to like urbanize our characters and like mold them into those type of anti-heroes.
I think everybody secretly knew that that's how that was decided.
Yeah, but when he's at the end of when he's doing Jack 3, he's talking about like the form of game development is changing to the point where publishers are not telling people that people make these games, and people are having a harder and harder time understanding like, oh, if you like Naughty Dog, this is what Naughty Dog does. So it's just like I feel like like there are people like you and me who know studios and know what games like studios make. Granted, I'm not.
But you think you're telling me that around like Jack 3, that point in game dev was when it stopped being about the developer and it started being more about like the actual game.
Oh no, more the publisher being able to say like, you don't know who worked on this game. You just know that like Naughty Dog is Naughty Dog. It's this bland anthropomorphic thing, but you don't know anyone at Naughty Dog. So it's kind of like
that's the Henry Ford. That's, yeah, you know,
it's like
you only know the finished product. You don't know who made what part of it.
Exactly, like EA Sports games and stuff like that, where people don't really know. Like even the people who are playing that game don't really know the studio. Like I play FIFA all the time. I don't even know the team that does it. I think it's EA FIFA probably, and I know it's basically.
It gets more murky when suddenly it's a studio named after the publisher as well.
Exactly. Like I know Ubisoft Montreal, but I don't really that developer also doesn't really have an in-house style of like I know I know what a Ubisoft game is generally, but I don't know what a Montreal is versus like the other places that they have.
I think that works. That happens to bigger publishers, and we don't have to name all the publishers.
Yeah.
But I think there's definitely some certain studios that you can 100% recognize.
No, but like studios is one thing, but then he was talking about more of like you don't know who makes up these studios, and we need to do a better job of like reminding people.
That's what you're saying. Even people like us who know studios, we don't know the actual people behind the studios anymore.
Yeah, so
that used to be a bigger thing. Where it used to be like this is a Gabe Newell thing, or this is like I get what you mean.
Yeah, like Hideo Kojima. People know, and Cliff Bleszinski.
There are very few of names that use. Actually, now you point out, yeah, huh. I actually hadn't thought about that. All the names that I know are from like stuff that people who created games before like 2000.
Yeah, they would go on G4, and I remember they were being like, and so.
Actually, well, one exception, but I think it's a very notable exception because he definitely did this on purpose. That would be our good old pal Yoko Taro.
Yeah,
he's the one who came out more recently, but he has been making games for a while.
Yeah, he also has like a very signature style.
Yes,
and so like that's the stuff that's like, it's interesting. He's talking about all these things as well as you're seeing it reflected in his game design, and I just wish that like we knew more about the people who actually made it. Like I love that like there's stuff like NoClip that's like doing the behind the scenes stuff.
I think it's very important.
Yeah, but. I think there are other ways, and maybe there's like smarter people who can definitely figure out ways to do it. Of like, how can we get to know the people who make games better? But then again, there's the other part of like I think about is like, at movies we only really know directors, and after that it's like right, and like that's an issue in and of itself again because like that's how really all those abuse problems start popping up. Is like one guy's able to just do whatever because his name is attributed to the check coming in. So it's just like, and then they get way too comfortable.
Hold on. What the fuck are the last flowers here? What am I supposed to do? I don't understand. Also, I realized that I'm not going to be able to afford this fairy yet. Yeah, what the fuck? Is there a fifth one? I feel like I solved a puzzle and it didn't reward me. Yeah, but I forgot you gotta pay him rupees first. This one requires 1,000.
That's man fucked up. Let me take out a loan to see the fairy.
Oh, okay, I can afford that. Actually, it turns out that that 300 we got was helpful.
Shout out to that island.
Yeah. All right, which fairy is this? I know the old woman one is or the one with white hair is in the bottom left. I like how they were like, "Hey, the great fairies used to be really weird in Ocarina of Time. Should we make them weird again?" And they were like, "Yes, of course we should." Is that even a question?
Mad sexual.
Yeah, sexual for no reason. Like,
No, but I'm with it. But also I'm not. Because it's just like, as a kid, I was just like, oh shit, there's titties on the screen. Everyone's going to think I'm jerking off right now.
I like how fully clothed, controller in hand, they're going to think I'm jerking off. Oh, I can enhance my clothing again.
I was about to replay God of War 3, and literally because of that Athena sex scene, I'm like, I can't have Juliana seeing that shit. Because you already be clowning me sometimes of like, if my game gets a little too... Like when I play Kingdom Hearts, she's like, what is going on the screen right now? Because she's fully not... She has no context for what's going on. And then I'm like, yo, imagine that shit comes out and I'm like, I really need the health after that fight with Hercules.
I don't know, man. I think it'd be funny. All right. Oh.
I hate jobs that force you.
Well, I know you hate jobs, Carlos. It's the Unemployment Chronicles. I know you hate being employed. That's why you fought so hard to be unemployed. You set me up for that. I can't do anything about that. Come on. What am I supposed to ignore that?
I hate website or like, oh, you see that shit on LinkedIn or Indeed, and they're like, cool, you have to apply on our central website. You got to upload your resume.
Oh my god, I know. Why are they so against just using Indeed or LinkedIn and just like letting you just take the resume from that? It doesn't affect them. I don't understand.
It probably charges some fee, but I'm like, at the end of the day, you need me. Pay that fucking fee. Let that shit rock.
That's what I hate too. Is I hate the entire application process in general because it's like, how badly do you want to work here? Tell me about it in a cover letter. I'm like, no, I have self-respect and dignity. Like, stop it. No, I'm not gonna beg you for a fucking job here. Like,
I understand the cover letter. That's fine, but then it's just like, all right, if I write this cover letter, at least tell me no, or at least a reasonable expectation.
It's the never like getting back to you that drives me crazy.
As well as
like, just
they don't give you feedback on why you didn't get that job. So it's just like, cool, maybe I am giving the wrong answer to all of these people, but you're never going to get back to me with that. So, and they want you to get experience, and I'm like, I'm trying to get experience right now at your job.
Yeah. Oh, that's so weird, man. Oh, there's a shrine over there. I'll end at this shrine. Oh, there's a stable there too. That's cool. We can probably find some more rumors. We'll call it there. I think maybe we should start working towards the Goron one. Just because we're here. I don't want to do any of the Lostwood stuff until we have 13 hearts, so which means more shrines, which means more. I'm not Carlos.
I know it's for the viewer,
it's not. It's your weird okays that throw me off because it's like you make it sound like I'm telling you specifically, and you're like, no, that's fine. Like,
I like
you're less invested in the gameplay than they are. Like, you're just here to talk. So I'm like, so like you saying, like, okay, yeah, like you're giving me permission. I'm like, I'm not explaining myself to you. I'm explaining to the viewers.
Came up with a different method of, hey, I looked this up. You don't know me, man.
Alright, man. All right, that'll do for part 12. I gotta go back to work. So I gotta.
Oh, what's that like, bitch?
Honestly, wasn't a dig that time, but I'm glad you picked up on it. Thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Carlos, for joining me. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.